I've just started recording.
I'd love some cheese,
And
not coffee though.
Just
Cheese and Vickies.
Yeah, all right.
We've started videoing.
Oh, wonderful.
Cheese and Vickies.
That's me.
Anyway, we're going to interview Dad about some things in his life.
All the nitty gritty.
All the nitty gritty. I'm going to just keep it on Dad, I think, mainly.
Please do. That
What?
actually, that's what you should do with an interview.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, fire away.
I can just be the voice.
Okay, the voice. Here's the voice.
Nice and loud.
Right. Dad.
Yep.
Where have you lived that's been your most favourite place?
Manly, originally. Yeah, Manly. Beautiful place. Grow up in.
And you were there as a child.
From 7 years of age to, till the war came, and then we moved around a bit from Manly up to Fairfield, Burwood, and came back down when Dad bought a shop at Queenscliff. But the area around Manly was great for a kid to grow up in before the war came. It was lovely.
What did you especially like to do in that
Oh, we had
time of
we
your
had the
life?
ocean on one side, and the pool on the other. We'd walk around the rocks, pick up periwinkles, bring them home, cook them up, eat them. And fish off Manly Wharf, plenty of fish there in those days. And it was really a great place to grow up in. As far as being married went, when I got married, we've been pretty happy everywhere we've been, but where we are now, Warragul,
Oh, I don't think you're happy here, are you? You hate the weather for one.
I hate the whole state.
Do you? The whole state?
Bloody hopeless. Sorry about
You
that.
love the football, don't you?
Football's good. Steve Waugh retired today from Test cricket. But anyway, no, I do like Warragul, but I don't like cold weather, and it's been a rotten year this year. And it's upset me, and not being 100% fit, of course, doesn't help. But
Oh, you suki lala.
come and beat him up. Will
Oh,
you?
yum. Thank you.
We can look after them then.
What have you got there?
Yum. I'm going to crunch.
Oh, I can
Oh,
have one of
do I do it with my fingers?
Hey, what happened to my interview?
Yeah, we'll keep going. We just got a little... Oh, Mum, we're going to need a knife for this. It's too
I'll get you a
hard.
knife. Hang on.
Oh, blimey, it's not like ice cream.
Who's the greatest football team?
Who is the greatest football team?
Yeah.
Well, in your case, Carlton. Finished second last this year and last the year before.
Hey, that's enough of that.
Bull.
The best team is Sydney,
Sydney.
AFL, the Swans.
And who's the best rugby league team?
Manly used to be.
You can do me one if you want.
I've lost interest in rugby league to a big extent. Australian rules is clearly the best sport. And I just
Excuse us.
I regard rugby league as monotonous and boring usually.
Who's your favourite tennis player of all time?
Favourite tennis player of all time? Modern era, Rafter. And in the old days, I'm talking back in the 50s, Kenny Rosewell and Lou Hode. They were the two best young blokes in my book.
And what's the biggest trophy you've ever won? For what sport?
Bowls from B grade to A grade. When I won the men's B grade singles, I moved up into the. You'd never think so, the way the selectors treated me though.
Yeah, they treated you poorly, if I
Very
remember.
poorly, and I spat the dummy and left.
That's fair enough.
Who's your favourite actor? Male.
Good tough. No actor. Harrison Ford, pretty popular. Yeah, I think him.
Everybody loves Raymond bloke.
For sitcom, that was my favourite sitcom. Everyone loves Raymond.
What about your actress?
Actress, yes. Oh, I think.
Journalism.
No. Good grief.
Julia Roberts.
Julia Roberts is the one, yeah.
You've not got it on me, please, Steve. You can edit that out. I'm eating. So, Dad, okay, we talked a little bit about sport, a little bit about your favourite childhood locality. What has been one of the scariest things you've had to do in your life? That you had to muster up positivity or...
Generally speaking, going for new jobs.
Right, okay.
Once I've got into them, I've been all right, but it's just the interviewing part. You've always got to get dressed up properly and present yourself well to make a good impression on the boss.
What's been your favourite job that you've worked in?
Favourite job? Well, over the years, the bakery business I used to enjoy, but I look back and think, blimey, all the hours you put in, but I really enjoyed the bakery because it was there was so much variety.
Were you sorry to say goodbye to the horse and cart delivery?
Yes.
Did you like?
I was, because I had a truck given to me after that. But the old horse and cart, you'd fill up your basket and you'd walk up the road to the various houses, and the old horse would plod along behind you, and you'd get up and he knew where to stop. And when you got there, you'd go back down and get your basket full again, off you'd go, and he'd trot up a bit further. But with the truck, you used to have to go back and get it all the time, and it was
That's a good point, isn't it?
Oh, it was a rotten thing in the rain too, I mean, I got dry sitting in the cabin, but I didn't have time to really get dry because I had to get out again about 2 seconds later. You're all right to write your book up and so forth, but no, the horse and cart was really good to work from.
You want one of these two?
Yeah, I'll have one in a minute. So, how old were you when you retired from work?
64.
And what was the last job you did?
Working at the University at Armidale as a cleaner.
Did you like that sort of work?
Yeah, it was great. I was supervisor, finished up getting the supervisor rank. Put me in charge of the college over in the hill in Armidale. And I had a really good crew working with me. And then they closed that down at that stage after about 2 years. Moved us back to the main campus at Armidale. We took over a $7 million new building for nursing and teaching, and it was brilliant. We had a great time there too. But it was a great job. I enjoyed that probably best of all as far as the latter part of living up in Armidale. I had a job originally in packing shelves at Woolies, night time, when I first went up there. And I got a job at a place called the Old Barn. And after that I got another job. When I left there I went and worked for Hannah's men's clothing store, which was all right. And but then they decided to refurbish the whole building and I couldn't stand all the racket going on around me. And the boss, I said to him, do you think I can get a reference, Robert? And he said, yes, no trouble at all, Ken. He said, Ken Reiher's been working at our shop for the past so many years. He's been a good employee, but he can't stand noise. and he has decided to leave. And I might as well have torn the thing up and thrown away. It wasn't worth 2 bob as far as revenue went.
That's awful.
It was.
What sort of work did you do at the Old Barn? What's the Old Barn?
Well, the Old Barn was a shop that was concentrated on second-hand furniture, mainly for the students at the universities. And then they had all tents and camping equipment in this newer section. And they did sell a lot of pine wood furniture, new stuff. So it was a really versatile sort of a place to work in. And it was quite good working there. But the kids used to come in each year for starting at the university, and they'd want to start with their second-hand furniture stuff for their flats and
They got pots and pans too, didn't they?
Big pardon?
They bought pots and pans.
Yeah, they bought all the pots and pans and the beds. They used to buy a bed for 25. The barn used to sell everything for 100% profit, but it was never expensive. They'd buy a bed, say at the end of the term, the kids came back with the furniture and sold it back to us. And we'd buy the bed back for say 10 or 12 bucks and sell it again for 24 to the next batch of kids. So the bed was always 100% profit, but it was never excessive. And that was with everything. The only thing we had to knock back was baby carriage seats in cars, because they usually didn't have all the belts attached to it properly. And the Indians used to come up there with the pots and pans, and you could smell the curries when they're in the car, in the boot of the car. Their pots were so strongly entrenched with the smell of all the curries.
So why did you stop working at the Old Barn?
Why? I had an argument with Kevin, the boss.
What about?
Oh, I told him he was too fastidious, and he was so, what's the word? everything had to just be absolutely right.
Perfectionist.
Perfectionist is the word. That's right, he was a perfectionist. And he just drove me nuts, and I thought I was doing a good job. But I think, in a way, I look back and think, I think he wanted to get rid of me. So he made it difficult for me, because then he knew I would chuck it in, which I did do. Because I said to him next morning, I had this fearful argument with him one night before we closed. But the next day I said to him, look, Kev, I'm sorry about last night, but I don't think I could work here any longer. And he said, fair enough. So it was a mutual agreement, and I saw him off, and after that we were always friendly to each other. But I thought, I've been thinking after that I thought, I think he really angled for getting me out. Because he had another young bloke just started there who was all his own age and that. So I didn't worry about it, because I was out of work for about 7 months, and I used to go around mowing lawns and things like that to help Dole.
And did you also deliver flowers, I think?
Oh,
And you worked
yeah.
at the cathedral?
Yeah, I went part-time at the cathedral, cleaned the cathedral out.
What happened with the flower delivery?
Well,
You can't.
we were doing it okay, but I used to get $2.50 for every bunch of flowers I delivered, and it was good around town, but if you had to go out of town, you used a bit more gas, and it wasn't so brilliant. But I was making a few bob out of it. And this particular Saturday morning, I was coming back, and it was a T junction, and I had the right of way at the top of the T, and this bloke cut me off, and he hit the back of my car. And I'd only just a month before discarded comprehensive car insurance for third-party property, and the bloke took off.
It cost you
I
$1,000.
never saw him again, and it cost me $1,000 to fix the.
And you had to borrow the $1,000.
I had to
because you
borrow
hadn't been
$1,000 to
working.
fix up the back of the oil and working, and all the money we ever earned out of the delivering the flowers went for
Or
Burton
mowing lawns
mostly.
and stuff.
Then I did mowed lawns and blew my mower up after about 2 months of that. So that was things
make
were
a
not going particularly well at that stage of my life. But then I went down to the Social Security, and they said, oh, Hannah's want a bloke, but you're a bit too old. And I said, just give us a go, will you? So he said, all right, and he gave me an introduction to the boss, and I went round with my suit on and looked very smart and living there. And I got the job. And I was there for how long, buddy?
Oh, 4 years.
4 years. And then I had to leave there because of all the wreck. I was becoming a nervous wreck. I was getting a wreck, it was terrible. Every time I had to go and get some stock, you had to either go down to the corner shop that was round on the bottom of the road, where they put a lot of their stock down there, or go upstairs, and there was stock all over the floor. I remember that particular afternoon, I said to Robert, I said, that stock room upstairs is a disgrace. If there's a fire and somebody gets injured up there, he said, and I said, a union bloke might come. Don't you mention the union to me? He said, who's running this shop? Follow me. Like a little schoolboy, I had to follow him up the office. Follow me. Who's running the shop? Whose name's at the front on this shop? Hannah's. Yes, that's right. Now, I don't want to hear any more words about unions. I don't want to hear any more words about stock. Right, Robert, thank you. I'll take a week's notice. And left. And I went down to Social Security, and they didn't have anything they didn't think for a bloke my age, but there was something going up the university. They might. I went up to university, and they knocked me back. So I went back down to Social Security, and I ran into a guy who was in our bowling club, who was working there. And he said, you're really eligible for government assistance at your age when you get a job.
Not a bit for Stephen,
And it's worth about half your wage. And if you go up there and tell them that, they'll give you a letter, explain it all, it might change their thinking. And it did. So they put me on for 3 months trial. At the end of 3 months, they extended for another 3 months. And finished up, I got 12 months work up there on part-time, all because of this allowance the government was paying, which I might add was a Liberal government.
Shock horror.
But anyway, and then after that, I said, well, what's the chances of anything permanent? And they said, well, we don't know, you'll have to wait till February and see. Anyway, they rang me, they sent me a letter to say that I could start in the end of February, 4 hours a day, permanent part-time. And I was doing that for about 12 months. And then they came along one day and said, would you like to take the supervisor job over at the college? And it was great. Barbie thought her money was like winning the lottery every week after that, from half pay to full pay. It was good. And I stayed there for about till we had to leave because my knee got too crook.
What's been the favourite pet that you've ever owned?
Favourite pet? Like pussycats. I can't say one pussycat, they've all been great cats.
What about Mandy?
Oh, Mandy was a great dog, yeah. Barbie killed it. She killed my dog. Took her to the vet and killed the damn thing.
He was 15.
Nothing wrong with
blind,
the
deaf, and
Nothing wrong with the dog, it was only blind.
blind, deaf, and pooed all over the house.
Poor dog.
Apart from that, it's a lovely dog.
It was a great dog, but it was a good dog. We had her from a pup, and she was 14 years old, was she? 15 years old, yeah. It's
I
like
waited till
losing
her
one of the
15th
family.
birthday.
Your coffee's getting cold, Steve.
Oh, yeah. I might turn it off for a minute.
Thanks for the baby.
Just want to ask you a couple of questions first, Dad, about your kids, about Gail, for example. Can you give us any memories of Gail when she was little?
Yeah. Oh, what's he say? Sniss, and I'll cuss, and I'll suck my thumb. She used to say that whenever she got roused on or asked something to do and she didn't want to do it. That's when she was very little. And Barbara always reckoned Gail and Stephen are like me. And of course, Gail has a tendency to fly off the handle at times, like I do. But she's a good kid, and she's done well as far as getting jobs. She used to just jump from one job to another and always do well at that. And she's married pretty well over in England. She married very well in England. Got three great kids herself, and she's done really, really well. In fact, the 4 children I've had with Barbie,
Oh, you had others with others?
there are others. I'm really, really proud
We're
of
going to
them
meet them.
all. Yeah, you'll meet them all. But,
At the funeral.
Linda, that is the most
You said it.
I did not say
Your
it.
4
You
children you had with Barbie, you said.
4 kids had with Barbie.
And what about the other mother? The other wife? The other kids? The cousins we're going to meet at the funeral?
What'd you
That's-
say?
Nothing?
That's all.
Why don't you say something about Barbie?
He said he loves you, Barbie.
I did not, but I do.
I've interrupted you.
Yeah,
What
Linda
about, tell us about Jim. What sort of memories you got of Jim when he was a little kid?
Jim running away from home once. Ran away from home one Saturday morning, said he wants to become a millionaire. Went all the way over to St Leonard's and couldn't find a toilet. And he got back on the Manly ferry and got his... Yeah, he must have left his bike in Manly because he pedalled home again. And then he... What did you go away for? He wanted to become a millionaire. Luckily we only found the note late on Saturday morning. We'd have been very
No,
distracted.
the thing is, he said he wanted to stir us. Give us
Wanted to
a
stir us, did he? Oh, there
Give us
you
a
go.
stir.
I thought he wanted to make money. But anyway, he used to, he was great, Stephen, Jim was, but I had one terrible barney with him one day. He became a member of the junior council in Warringahshire Council. And he came out one night in a pair of shorts and thongs, and what else?
Jeans and things.
Jeans and thongs, and he looked absolutely scruffy. And I said to him, you're not going to go down to the council and that meeting that night like that. And yes, he was. I whacked the door with my fist, and he broke my flaming wrist and fist, and made him get changed.
So far in this video we've discovered that you're very argumentative and violent.
What did you do?
And then maybe other children.
And there are other children somewhere in.
What did you do to me when I wasn't here?
Linny is my favourite youngest daughter.
And Gail's his favourite.
Just confess it once for the video. She's your favourite kid.
A load of rubbish.
Go on, I dare.
You are, Steve. You're the favourite.
Yeah, no, look, I can't quote favourites because you can't describe any of them.
All your kids are different, aren't
They're all
they?
different, and they're all
You didn't know that with your 3 boys.
It's all love. I was saying to Steve the other day, provided you've got a loving family, a loving wife, a house to live in with a roof over your head and no debt, you don't really need anything else. And it's true. I mean, it's all very nice to have lots of dough if you want, that's fair enough. But we've always managed to get through what we've had, and we've enjoyed it. I mean, Barbie's bailed us out on numerous occasions going to work at different times, but it's always been a situation where she could leave when she decided to.
Okay, getting back to your children, talk about Linda. What do you remember about Linda when she was a little girl?
Linda Pinn. She was an angel.
You gave me emotional problems, Dad.
Oh, I gave her emotion. She would never cry. Never ever cried.
Not till she was 2.
And when she was 2, she hadn't cried up to the time she was 2. And then one day I went over and I said to her, "You're a very naughty girl, Linda." And she cried.
She dropped a bottle of lip.
And I was really happy to see it because I thought, this is normal.
That made me happy.
That made me happy.
To ruin my mind.
It ruined the girl's life, but I just really
Brought you happiness.
brought me happiness in big time. As it's turned
So
out,
he's a sadistic person as well.
as it's turned
Add that to the list.
As it's turned out, she's been a marvellous daughter.
What about Gail?
Oh, that Gail, she's been marvellous too.
Dad's already spoken
She's
about
talked about the
You
other. He's,
can-
talked,
yes,
he's up to the most important one now.
Now he gets to the favourite youngest.
Now I'm back to the youngest son here, and I don't know what we'd ever done without him. I mean, Jim's further away, and consequently I can't call him to come around and fix the TV every time it blows up on us, or fix a light bulb that we can't reach.
But
And
what about young memories of
Young
Stephen?
memories
Little,
of
when he was
Stephen.
little.
he always said, "You never ever played ball with me, Dad."
Oh.
Even now he says that. Never ever played ball with me, and he cuts me to the wick. But he had to grow up as a good
You
kid.
used to take me to the footy a lot.
Yeah, that's the thing. I used to take him to football a lot. And Jim would come once every blue moon. And this particular time we went, I don't know whether Jim, you were with me that day, but Jim decided to go looking for bottles. So he left me at the football and went round the ground all through the whole game, collecting bottles and getting the money for it. And then he came down the next week and they'd gone plastic. And
Not a chance.
he never went again. But Stephen hung with me all the time. Even now we get together, we watched the football the other night, the Rugby Union Test World Cup. And we always see each other on weekends if there's a game on in Aussie rules. And Steve's being so close is, well, company as far as...
Do you remember when we saw Plugger Lockett kick 11
Yeah.
goals against Collingwood that time?
Yeah, that was a Melbourne Creek ground that night.
Stephen's having a little, what's the snide remark to Jim about Collingwood?
No, I'm not. Mum, I don't need to say that. Everyone knows Collingwood are a pack of losers.
They only made $2 million profit this year.
Did they? Only
Yeah.
2 million.
$2 million.
Mm.
No, Steve's been a big help to us here while we've been in Warragul because he's so close, and he's got the family involved with his pay TV. I hope they're all paying him for it when he's copping.
Oh, I have.
Good, and because we're always ringing him up.
And he's our handyman, isn't he?
3 or 4 times the things didn't work for me, and Barbie has struggled with some of her
And
shows.
when a lot of your grandkids are growing up, some of them might not remember you. So what would you like to say to what would you say to Jaden to start with? What would you like to say to him on his 21st, when he's 21 years old, a big boy?
Yeah. You're a great kid, mate, but what the hell are you playing for Carlton? Jaden's growing up to a really, I can only talk about him when I was him at 6 years of age.
Yep.
He's growing into a very nice young man, very well spoken. But you'd expect that from a parent's point of view. They're pretty well spoken and they've instilled in him a Christian belief, and he's polite. He was a little rotten kid early in his lifetime.
Now, speaking of lovely children, what do you think Isaac will do when he grows up?
He'll probably become a wrestler or a fighter. He loves throwing things. He might become a discus thrower because he loves chucking things. And I don't know what he'll be like, but I'm
He'll
sure he'll
probably be a perfect saint.
perfect saint. They're all good looking. That's one big consolation. The whole 3 of the kids are good looking, and I don't think they'll have any trouble.
Has Silas given you any trouble ever?
Silas has never given me any trouble. He's all over me like a rash.
Hello, darling, come here.
He's a great kid, and he's only 1.5.
Just push it.
But I can see him developing into a great kid. I think the whole family, it's a family, back to the family again. That is where the makings of the person's character is at home. I'm sure it is. They've got the discipline, they get understanding, and they get morals, and they generally,
Was that moles or morals?
they probably get morals as well as morals.
And you've got 3 great granddaughters.
3 great granddaughters, that's right. Now one's in Sweden, well, I haven't seen her yet in the flesh, which is probably all I won't see, but we have seen photos. And my other 2 great granddaughters are in at Danny's place, and we saw them only just the other night. They're growing to lovely little girls, and probably will be beating the boys off with sticks as well. So yeah, we've been very lucky. We've got 12 grandkids and 3 great grandkids. So we've done well, really.
A lot of people are alive because of you, aren't there?
Yes, a lot of people are alive, and the whole family is growing all the time.
And their name will be carried on.
Yes.
The name's carried on, that's good, yes. Reiher and not Reiher. Reiher.
Not right.
Why did you ever change the name to Reiher when it was Reiher for all those years, and then it was...
Years ago, when the First World War was on,
Or the second one.
no, the First World War was on, the name Reiher sounded very German, and there was, of course, we were fighting Germany, Australia, and it sounded too pro-German. So they changed it to Reiher.
Who's they? Your great-great-grandfather just said, that's it, we're going to call it Reiher. Or your father. Your father, was it?
Yeah, you're great.
Well, he must have done. I think Dad must have.
Yeah.
Went to Reiher.
Did all the family agree with it?
Yeah, they all called themselves Reirs. And then, after the Second World War, we thought, well, why not go back to the original
We changed
Reiher?
our name to Reiher in 1980.
We changed our name back to Reiher. For us, we didn't have to change anything word-wise as far as deeds or anything.
Just the pronunciation.
Just,
When we changed towns, when we went from Sydney to Armidale.
yeah, it was too, that's
Yeah.
right.
1980 we changed.
Yeah, we changed it back from 1980, and it sounds better, it sounds proper.
Reiher.
We used to get Riga, Rogga, or you
No
know,
one could spell it.
no one knew how to say or spell
I
it, so
listen more closely now.
it's much better these days.
I tell the kids at school it's I before E except after Steve.
Well, I always tell people it's like in the German word Reich, it's R-E-I, excepting for the C, it's R-E-I-C-H, we're R-E-I-H, and it's Rye. It's just, they just don't, a lot of people still don't get it right, but more
That's
do
probably
than
why
used
a
to.
lot of people put a C in it, Ken. I before E except after C.
Did you, growing up as an only child, did you ever really want a brother or a sister, or you just didn't know any better?
Didn't want anybody, it's just selfish. Used to be like I was. Never worried about that.
And do you think only children are different to everyone else?
Yep,
In what way?
selfish. All want their own way.
What's been the greatest thing about being married to Barbie?
Oh, loving the girl.
Oh, but you did say something about French kisses the other night.
Oh, yeah, French kiss. She will not give me a French kiss. She just will. She spits on me when I try. Spits. I get spit all over me. She just won't touch me. I've even made it my last request. Kiss me, French kiss, and she won't do it then. So yeah, that's bad. But no, she's been terrific. I was only thinking I should write a letter, and I was thinking about that, write the letter, and you could type it for me, Sue, but I was going to say I've been married to the best wife in the world, the best lover in the world, the best mate in the world, and the best friend. You couldn't ask for 4 better options. And I mean, she's had a bit of a rough time the last couple of months, especially since I've gone on to my steroids.
I've told you, mate, you're not going to make the Olympic team. It's not worth it, man. I've told you.
I don't think I'll make Athens, but she's had to put up with my mood swings rather badly. And poor old Linny's been the arbitrator at times this last week. And I've really tried hard today, and Linda's given me a rating out of 10. And I started pretty well at 9, but I indulged in some remark about her dishwasher, and she dropped me to 8. And now if I get out of line, she's dropped me down to 6, so I can't say anything more there. Barbara's given me a 9 out of 10, and so I'm quite happy about that.
Have you ever thought about getting a tattoo?
Never.
Have you ever thought about getting your nipple pierced?
Never.
What do you think about your son who's got a nipple pierced?
Well, it's his like. I don't particularly like the idea of having things put through my nipple, but if he wants to do it, that's up to him. He's becoming like a blinking orangutan with things in his ears now. He's got 3 things in one ear and a blinking thing up his nipple. He's got a cross on his nipple now, and he says to keep the vampires away. Did.
Well, that might just do us, I think. That's half an hour of pure entertainment.
Pure entertainment, good on you. I hope you all liked
I'm gonna
it.
go and cook tea.
Everyone who's ever known your dad loves you, mate. You're a living legend.
A living legend.
You're a
It's nice to know.
champ. You are.
Nice to know.
Yeah.
I often wonder why.
Well, until you tell us your deep, dark secrets, we won't, have any problem loving you.
I'm not saying any more. That's
Mum's
what-
going to tell us.
Mum may tell you when she's on her deathbed. I doubt whether she will then even.
Okay.
No, we've had a pretty good life. She's had a few moments of not good.
Any last words for the world? What do you want them to know?
The last words to the world, you'll never get rid of the terrorists. Ever. And this guy...
Until the second coming.
No, that's true. This guy, the 2 men in the prison camp over in
Oh, Guantanamo Bay.
Guantanamo Bay, they're going to give the first guy, the Australian, an army trial, and he's going to be, he can't be sentenced to death, and they may send him back here to serve the time. But Abubi, the other guy, unless he gets an army trial,
Bring those books in when you come
he
in.
is in jail till the last terrorist is caught. That's Bush's idea of holding prisoners of war, that they've got to stay there now until all the terrorism ceases, which will never happen. Because if you've got fanatics that are prepared to die for a cause, it'll happen. It'll keep happening. The only way they're ever going to do it is to have negotiations. The Americans have got offside with all these Arab countries because of their policies in the Middle East, and they don't like it. They don't want to be interfered with. They don't want to be told what to do or be taken over by what they regard as a non-democratic system, and they want to stick to their own. And even if the worst dictator is running a country ever, you've still got no right to just go and invade him because you don't like him. I mean, why don't they invade Rwanda and get rid of Mugabe? He's killed all these white farmers and so forth. Did that happen? Why don't they do anything? Nothing in it for them. It's too hypocritical. It is, honestly. They don't stick to the... If they did it to everybody, it wouldn't be quite so bad. If they go in against the United Nations, they did it again. They didn't take any note of the United Nations not wanting to do it that way. Just went in unilaterally, and Australia just tags along with England. Crazy, in my book. But anyway, I just don't think the world will ever become peaceful again until Christ returns, and that'll be whenever. I don't know. And it's a sad, sad world, but we can't do much about it until he comes back.
Okie dokie. Good on you, Plymouth Reiher.
Plymouth.
You know why I call you Plymouth?
No,
Because I used to walk around the house saying, who can I bash up whose name rhymes with Plymouth Dyer?
Oh, the humour of my family. That's kept me alive for the last year or so.